You guys are tuned into Dance Rhetoric. We're at AtLA convention. I got Amanda Grind here, one of my favorites. Oh my God. Oh, I love you so much. You just taught to one of my favorite jams, New Jack Swing.
Yeah.
Tell us the importance of groove. You always do groove, and I love that you stay in that.
Because it's essential. I feel like it's crazy to me how like people make it so separate, and I feel like naturally when you listen to music, you'll have like a natural rock to you. You know what I mean? It won't be so like separate from the feeling of music, and I feel like a lot of that gets lost in translation. Like intricacy is amazing, I'm not knocking it, but I do also feel that you have to have that balance, and it's if you can only do intricate stuff and you can't do like basic whole count rhythms, and there's kind of a problem. Or if you can't do the same groove for like a solid 8 and make it look entertaining, then that's kind of backwards to me, I think.
Right, because
So,
you want people able to feel you, you know?
Absolutely.
And I love that you do that. And
Absolutely.
another thing is storytelling.
Oh, yeah.
Where do you get your storytelling from?
life.
Life.
Yikes. Everything, like literally everything I teach to has stemmed from something in my life that's happened. It doesn't always mean that it's so deep and like, oh, I got my heart broken. Sometimes it is that. But no matter the subject, I feel like you're going to learn a part of my business, as I like to tell people in my class. And I think that's the only way I can relate to it. Because I think as an instructor, because I feel like the way that I teach, like I'm teaching music, I'm teaching like what they're singing about or rapping about or whatever. And if I don't connect to it, then it's kind of hard. It'll be harder, I think, for the students to connect to it.
Right.
So I have to kind of almost be in that vulnerable state to just
So that they
say,
can
this
be
is what I
vulnerable,
naturally
yeah.
feel, and this is how I feel when someone said this to me or when I had to say this to somebody, and then they can take their own interpretation of that story and make it apply to them.
Right, and that's cool that you open yourself to be vulnerable, because then you open up your students for them to be vulnerable, and that's okay sometimes.
it's
You
cool.
can't hold all that stuff in.
And you, child.
You'll have a meltdown.
And it's like, it's one of those things too where I just feel like vulnerability, people automatically think it means just like sad stuff, and vulnerability is just sharing who you are, because at the end of the day, I feel like the people who we're connected to, like when we're performing on these stages with these artists, or if we're performing with our teams or whatever, it's the naked eye, or like the people who don't do what we do, that are buying these tickets, that are in the audience, that are supporting our shows. So how are they going to connect to us because they don't do what we do?
Right.
So they don't really care about how well you can bust 1 yen and 2 yen and 3 if they don't feel what you're talking about. So you have to draw them in, because other dancers are going to get it. Like if you mess up, they'll be like, okay, maybe they meant to hit it on the snare, they didn't, that's fine, they're still jamming. But my grandma, my auntie, people like that, or my friends who just support what I do and don't necessarily dance, quote unquote, they don't get that side. So they just want to understand like how you make them feel, and the only way to do that is by being vulnerable and showing who you are as that person, and then it'll transform into your art and all that other stuff.
And that is so awesome. I just please continue to give us that in the dance culture. One last thing, what do you love most about AtLA Takeover?
First of all, Kiki and Sakina are my girls. They didn't pay me to say that. They really are my girls. But I just love what they're doing. I love the Atlanta community, period. And I do think that a reason that I'm drawn to it so often, and I'm here all the time as much as I can be, is just because there's something very different about here that I feel like as many other cultures want to try to like, I don't want to just say steal, but as far as that, they're so influenced by what goes on here without really trying to like study what actually goes on here. And I think the more I've spent time and been around these types of communities and like AtLA or other things like that, like it just shows more and more why Atlanta is special. And I think that Sakina and Kiki in particular are two amazing leaders for this community, in that anytime any new dancers looking to come to Atlanta, or just people who are in the community already but don't know where to go, I feel like it's a good outlet to get access to people who you probably wouldn't get access to otherwise.
Right, I totally agree. Don't sleep on Atlanta.
Okay, Atlanta
I'm
got
telling
it.
people, do not
Atlanta
sleep
got
on
it.
Atlanta. Y'all got the groove. Thank you so much
Absolutely.
for being a part of Dance Rhetoric.
Yeah, right on.
I'll look forward to seeing you soon.
Yeah.